Hi, this is Wishup, and I wanted to do a cartomancy video. I came across this Lenormand spread, which is done by Alexandre Musruck. He developed it. It's a signature spread of his. He does it as a double line of 7. Sorry, I'm sort of moving this camera around to make sure I have it positioned not to fall over. He does it as a double line of 7. I'm going to do it as a double line of 5, just for sort of purposes of time, and also because that kind of works with the way I like to read. I think it's a fantastic spread. I just came across it recently, started using it, felt like I was getting great, specific, really interesting results. You get to read the spread in a lot of different dimensions, which if you know anything about my previous cartomancy videos, is something I like. I like to read in lots of dimensions because I find the confirmation of getting repeated messages and amplifications or elaborations of the messages is very good. So I want to show you how this spread works. A lot of what I'm going to say is very much duplicate of what Alexandre Musruck says in his video. I'm going to include the link to his original video, which I watched, the line of 7 or the double line of 7. He also has a site called angelcartomancy.com. He's a longtime Lenormand instructor and reader, and also does angel and oracle card decks. So I encourage you to find out more about those if you're interested. So we deal out this double line of 5. This is a fantastic spread if you have a specific question. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to flip them so that we've got them. I'm using his Retro Lenormand, which has bonus cards, which will explain why you're seeing the angel. But of course it will work with any Lenormand deck. This is also a bonus card. So it's good. This is a sample. You can just see how it works. Okay, so we've got all the cards flipped. And so the first thing you do, there's an interesting setup where you can think of the top row as the subject of the question, or even like the significator, the internal circumstance of the question, and the bottom row as being the object of the question, or the external circumstance. So if, let's say we had an issue like a boy throws a ball, this top line is the boy, this bottom line is the ball. So I did a sample reading for a friend of mine when I was playing with this spread and got really great results. Not only interesting, but they had, it illuminated information that I was not consciously aware of, but my friend was. So when I explained the reading to my friend and went, I'm not sure how this makes sense to your situation, but I'm just going to share it with you because I'm interested in this reading style, the friend was able to give me examples where this reading was quite relevant. So I thought, oh, that's good. So how well it will predict the outcome long term, that I don't know yet, but I did find, at least in the short term, it was able to surface information that I, as the reader, didn't have, and that brought new thoughts to my friend about this particular situation. So asking sort of a similar question as that friend, just as a working hypothesis, if I were asking a question about what should I think about this job offer I received, okay? So the central card is kind of where you are now. So in this case, this card is the umbrella, which is sort of safety or being undercover, that kind of a situation. So on these two cards on the side represent sort of what's leading up to it and what's coming from it. So just when you do a regular Lenormand reading, you'll construct sort of a sentence using this as your central idea, what came before and what goes after. So in this one, maybe it would be, if it was a job situation, I had ideas or success based on having good professional associations that were keeping me safe. You know, I was lucky in my friends, and that was an area of success. Maybe I was employed by them. And then in the future, we've got birds and the whip. So it's like this future, situation I've been in, or the change I experienced, if this is me and this is my job offer, is that talk broke down. Maybe there was gossip against me. So before that, I had very faithful, loyal friends, and then I ended up in a situation where there was a lot of gossip and repetitive sort of backbiting, and that was a difficult situation for me because it impacted my job security. So that would be a way we could read the top. So now I have a new job offer, let's say, and I'm reading the bottom. So we move to the bottom. This again would be the central issue. This is an end to something. So maybe because I've got this angel card, which here is a bonus card in the stars, it's like this is all tied to this good stuff I've had in the past, this guidance. I had an angel on my side. I really had the blessing of somebody, maybe my higher ups. And now I'm a female, so maybe I feel like this is my significator card. It's unclear where my future is. And it's unclear whether or not this new job, where it's going to take me. So maybe this is a promotion within my current position and it's an end. These times are gone. I don't have my patron or benefactor anymore, and now I have to move on into the unknown. But the place where I am now, people are not very supportive. These conversations are difficult or toxic, or this kind of thing. So this would be the kind of situation you would explain. So the next thing you do in this particular reading is you put this lower card basically into this house. When you're reading cards as houses, you don't sort of keep reading them across relating to each other. We read them up and down, so to speak. So here we go. So now I've got the angel in the house of the sun. So again, I can think of this as my lucky angel. Stars in the house of the dog. My friends gave me guidance. I was getting navigation on my career from friends. Coffin and umbrella. There's an end to my feeling of safety. Woman is in the house of the birds. I could be feeling anxiety over what I should do next, or having conversations about what I should do next. Clouds in the house of the whip. I'm wondering whether or not things are always going to be this way. The whip can be repetitive things and difficult things, and I'm thinking, is this always going to be this way now that my sort of patron is gone and I'm experiencing effects of anxiety and gossip? Is it always going to be this way? Is it going to get better if I stay here, or should I jump ship, get out of this job to make it better? Or maybe I could warm up those relationships. Maybe we'll become more friendly. That kind of thing. Anyway, this is not so much about the substance of the reading, but the way to do the reading. So you read the top line first, the bottom line next, then you put these in the houses. The next thing you do is you mirror these with each other. So I've got the angel and the sun with the clouds and the whip, clouds in the house of the whip. So you can work as you do in a grand tableau, and other things. You can mirror these across from each other, and then mirror these across from each other. And I don't want to spend too much time on what this would necessarily mean, because I am going to do a reading, a sample reading for all of us, a general reading, in my next video. I just wanted to keep the methodology in a separate video for you card geeks like me and cartomancy fans, and then put the reading itself in a separate video for people who just want the content of the reading. So in this sense, you would mirror these against each other, like what does the angel in the house of the sun, how does that reflect the clouds in the house of the whip? Because I think whip can be a Martian card, and clouds, and then we've got this angel who sort of looks to me like a female angel in the house of the sun. It could be I'm leaving a female benefactor and I'm getting a male boss, and I'm worried that it's not going to be a good situation for me, or that male boss is not stopping the gossip, or something like that. But that would be a way that you would do it. Stars can also be internet. In my experience, so dog could be I have associates on the internet or friends on the internet, and if I mirror that with woman and birds, I'm having conversations with my friends on the internet to ask what they think, or I'm using job sites. I'm putting my listings on job boards. because I've got anxieties about the situation and I'm trying to leverage some of my professional associations from the past, or I've started covertly, because we've got the coffin in the house of the umbrella, I'm still keeping it quiet. I'm keeping it, the lid on it, I'm keeping it under wraps, but I'm secretly starting a job search. I'm secretly getting the word out to friends. You know, this could be the way that you would read that. So that becomes, again, an elaboration. So another thing that he says then, if you have this situation, you've read all the mirrors. So we read top line, bottom line. We put the bottom line into the top houses. And I'll straighten these up again just so you can see them again. He says if there's any aspect about which you are unclear. So let's say maybe what I really want to know, maybe I've determined that this clouds is this and this whip is this new boss. And I just don't know, now that the boss has changed and my favorite boss left and I've got a new boss, how is it going to work out long term? In the short term, because birds for me is a Gemini card, so it tends to be transiting, airy, you know, birds are flighty. This is moving energy. In the short term, things are a little tough. Everybody's talking, people are anxious and worried, and I might have uncertainty. But in the long term, how do I think things are going to work out? So he says if there's an area you have unclarity about, Alexander says, I said unclarity, that's not, I think, a word, but anyway, you pull an extra card and sort of put it across there. So what else do I have? Clover. Okay, so Clover now is also in the house of the whip. So this could actually work out well for me. In the short term, I might be quite nervous that I'm not going to be safe and that the good times are gone, but there might be a little bit of luck. Clover is a small amount of luck. It tends to be a little bit of a short-term energy, but it's also things which are small. So in the beginning, things that start small. But I don't know, there might be some promising beginnings if I hang on. So this would be a way that you would ask for clarification on areas that you think about. And the last thing he did, which I thought was brilliant, let's say I'm not a woman, and this is not my significator card, or I tend to use another significator card for myself and it's not in this deck. What you do is you flip through your deck and you find your significator card. You just flip it over and like flip through it. So maybe I'm looking for the man. Let's see if I find it. Oh, I hope it's somewhere. Oh, I must have missed it. Okay. It's in here somewhere. Where are you? Oh, I can never find the significator when I want it. Didn't I go through this already once? How did I miss it? Is he gone? Where did I go? All right, all of a sudden I'm looking for the man card. Oh, there he is. He's like third on the list. Okay, and I can't find it. So then you take your significator card, and because he's doing a line of 7, he pulls he pulls 2 to the left and 2 to the right. If it's at the end of the deck, that tells you something interesting too, right? Because you might say, oh, my significator was at the end of the deck, so there's nothing in front of me. Or my significator's at the end of the deck, there's nothing behind me. And just like in a grand tableau, you will use that as something that you can read. If you would occur on this side of the grand tableau or this side, your significator, you can then read that placement. But because I'm doing this as a line of 5, I'm just pulling 1 on either side. So here I go. I have this new beginning. Let's say I'm the man. So this woman is some other woman perhaps I work with. And maybe because this woman is in the house of the birds, this woman is an associate of mine. Maybe she has bad things to say about this new boss. And she worked with him before and she's not a fan. And she's concerned. And that's making me concerned because she has experience with him. So I pull my card, my significator, and I get a new beginning, which I know I'm in. I know I'm in a new beginning, but then I get the moon, which can be a card of creative expression and good reputation in business. So then I go, well, things look unsure now, but in the end, I've got some good luck and a good reputation. So Keeping it short, that's the way you do this 5x5 card. I will put all the links to Alexandre's sites in the description bar, so definitely look at that and go on to read or see the reading. Thanks.